Yo, what is going on? This is ShanGO Ray, aka Real Deal Ray. Are you bound? Are you bound? Well, are ya? Interesting question. As many of you know, we have began offering, and there's a reason why I'm mentioning this. First of all, like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And if you got Alzheimer's or something, or you're deaf, like, share, subscribe, and thrive, okay? In that order, the order of operations. So our 3-day Love Bind 3.0 is in full effect. We just got finished shipping out the second round of 3-day Love Bind rituals. They are going great. They are on another level, and everybody is happy so far, and we are ecstatic about it. We love doing it for the people, obviously, who want this a lot. You know, maybe it's somebody like yourself, but we get a lot of questions. You know, some of them are kind of redundant because there's some questions that are just kind of universal with these types of things. But one of the questions that I've been getting actually quite frequently, which prompted me, of course, to, make a video, is how do I unbound? How do I unbind myself? One of the things that I always say to anybody thinking of partaking in, letting us do this for you now, is to make sure that this is what you really want, okay? Make sure this is what you really want. Don't just go about things willy-nilly. And Spirit actually showed me some things in regards to this. Some of the reason why some of y'all can't seem to get that ideal relationship, and or even other things, just reaching other plateaus or other areas in your life, could be because you're bound, okay? Now, whether you got bound through magical means or through other means, which we're going to talk about right now, doesn't matter. The fact is, you're basically, when I say bound to, let's just say quantumly entangled, quantumly attached with this person, okay? And sometimes it might be with a person that you don't want to be quantumly attached to, okay? For several reasons, okay? So the possible reason why some of y'all can't experience the relationship that you really want is because you're already bound, okay? Now, you can be bound to several people at one time, okay? And of course, I don't mean this, I'm not trying to make a devil or a boogeyman out of this. Usually, from my experience and from what I've seen, the subject of being bound is maybe one variable, okay? Because let's face it, some of y'all got some fucked up personalities and are extremely hard to be with. I mean, you'd cheat on you if you could. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we all got character flaws, of course, but like in certain situations, there's usually a cluster of variables. One of them could be that you're bound already, okay? So, you're gonna want to watch this video to the end too, okay? Because I'm going to give you a way that you can get unbound, all right? It's not easy, but it is simple, all right? Okay, so how do you get bound anyways? How does one get bound, or how does one get quantum entangled? There's many ways, but I'm going to give you the 3 ways, or I've quantified 3 different ways based on my experience and based on what I've seen as far as how you may have found yourself getting bound. You may not even know that you're bound either, okay? So the first way, of course, family and friends, okay? Some of us have parents or family members or friends that really everybody else can see that they bring you down, okay? Whether it's your mom, whether it's your father, whether it's a sibling, it's like you may, be doing quite well, and then this particular relative come around, or, whatever the case may be, and your shit just starts going, and everybody else can see it, maybe you do see it, but you're like, hey, this is my mom, this is my brother, this is my sister, and or friend, okay? Because friends can do the same thing. They may not be meaning to necessarily bring you down or at least consciously they may not be trying to, but maybe subconscious. There's a whole host of reasons, okay? We're not going to go into every single reason. The second way, of course, is through, but obviously with that, there's an energetic connection. Usually there's a mental connection going on too, you know. The other way is somebody needs to tell my neighbors that Cinco de Mayo is over, okay? So the other way is, of course, through a romantic relationship, sex, okay? Sex is a very simplistic way, an easy way to get entangled with somebody, all right? Or to get quantumly entangled, attached, all right? And of course, the third are emotional peak experiences that you experience with somebody. These can be, of course, positive, like I'm just gonna go off the top of the dome as far as what could be a positive experience for you. Let's say you're going hiking or you're going somewhere. You have a small child. Your child happens to escape and make a beeline for something, and almost maybe, let's say, falls off a bridge or falls off the edge of the trail, and somebody comes and saves them, and you're so at first you're terrified, mortified, almost frozen in horror. Then there's like that, oh my God, then there's that sense of relief, then there's that sense of joy and gratefulness. That's an example of more or less like a positive or higher vibrational emotional experience, okay? Then of course there's the negative side of that emotional peak experiences. Obviously, this can be anything from traumas, all kinds of traumas, number one, traumas. Somebody could have done something extremely horrible to you, sexually speaking, getting raped or molested, bullied, assaulted, different shit like that, depending on your emotional take on it and things that can actually have a lot of you are bound and don't even know it by way of something like that. That's why it's very important to unbind yourself as best as you can. And let me tell you, unbinding, first of all, in the way I see it, we're all connected. We're all connected, okay? It's just a matter of whether that connection is activated, all right? It's almost like I'm only about 10 numbers, give or take, let's just say phone numbers. I'm only about 10 numbers away from you or anybody else in this entire world, and so are you, okay? The connection is there. It exists. It's just not activated until I give you my phone number or you give me yours, and we use it. You know what I'm saying? Then, now the connection's activated. So it's kind of like that, okay? But you definitely want to be aware, and it's a good thing to go through these. Of course, when you're quantum entangled, the model that I like to use is that there's an electric cord attaching you, okay? And this cord, no matter where you go, there you are. There's no getting away from it, okay? Now, much like a marriage is actually a binding contract between you and somebody else, okay? In this physical world here, okay? Just because you're bound doesn't mean you can't leave that person's presence. I mean, and or cheat on them or do whatever, but there's always going to be that thing attaching you. And here in this world, that marriage binding certificate has real physical consequences, that can be enacted and that can be felt. Well, so much more so even in the spiritual world, I would say. Okay, those are two kind of different examples of a form of binding. Another way I guess you could say of binding besides quantumly entangled is, just to put it in a way that we can visualize it, is tying, because you're basically tied. Now, I can bind somebody up and hog tie them so they can't fuck with me, or I can tie somebody to me so they can't get away from me, And a lot of times, a lot of you are familiar with this, because sometimes when you're bound with somebody, some of you are searching for that relationship, the one, and it seems like for whatever reason, after you were with this person. It just seems like bad luck in a relationship category after bad luck. Maybe possibly dating the same type of person with a different face. Some of the reason is also because you could be bound to a particular person. So in essence, it's kind of like a rubber band. You go so far and then there's a snapback effect. Some of you have had a very awful, arduous, tiring time trying to get out of a certain relationship, okay? It seems like you break up, make up, break up, make up, break up, make up. And you know intellectually, like, I want to leave. But it seems like you just can't leave. Or it seems like they just can't leave. You know, put in another little spin on it. Because sometimes it ain't just you. Maybe you're the one, you know, like I said, y'all are bound. Okay? It's kind of like wanting to be married and enter into a contract that you finally like, yes, this is the perfect person. I know within every fiber of my being. You probably knew with every fiber of your being about the last person too, but that's another story. But I can't get married to this person because I'm already bound to this person, as far as by the laws of this land. That's just an example, okay? But it's something to think about. And I often subscribe, or not subscribe, suggest to my clients that, particular clients anyways, they want to definitely check into different cord cutting processes, okay? And it's something that you're going to have to practice at, because usually cord cutting one time is not going to, it's almost kind of like forgiving. And I'll say this, forgiving is another aspect of being able to cut the cord, because you're assuming ownership and responsibility for the way you feel about whatever it was that happened. And you're also being proactive because you are releasing it. You're letting it go. So that's the mark of an owner. That's the mark of a boss. Okay? So there is a way. There's a lot of you want a magic ritual for it. But one of the things I always suggest is go to YouTube, because YouTube has a fuckload of videos on energetic cord cutting. And there's all kinds of different ways to do it. There's no one set way. There's whichever way feels right to you in this moment. So some of the homework that I always is just go take a look at different videos, see which one resonates with you and which one you want to do, and just begin practicing it and watch what happens, okay? Now, within the realm and confines, of course, of a relationship, that's what I'm primarily making this about. But of course, the concept of being bound energetically or quantum entangled with somebody through whatever circumstances is very wide and varied and arrayed, okay? But for the sake of this video, we're going to talk more or less as far as it concerns relationships, you know, because a lot of you are wanting that particular relationship. You are considering coming to somebody like myself and my wife to you know, make some things happen sympathetically, okay? Sympathetically, magic-wise, okay? But like I always say, this shit is real, okay? This shit is real. I'm not going to dance around, you know, and mince words with you. This shit is real, okay? So you want to be very sure before you do something like this. You want to be absolutely positive, because I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes getting out of a binding is a whole lot harder than getting into it, okay? I can take a cup or a plate, throw it on the ground and break it. But if I could collect every single piece and put that plate or cup back together again, A, it's not going to ever be the same as it was before I broke it. And B, it's going to take a whole hell of a lot longer. Okay, now I'm not saying this is always the case, because sometimes there's instantaneous catharsis within a binding to where it's just like, that shit's just gone. You know, we have all, I mean, a lot of us have kind of experienced some of these, because sometimes you can reach intellectually, you're like, I am done with this person. That's it, right? and you leave, and then years go by and whatever, but next thing you know, you end up smacking into that person again. Why? Because that cord is still there. And throughout that time, you may have had your energy siphoned. Okay, you may have had dreams about this person. Okay, this person's always in your dreams and shit. For no reason at all, they come across your mind. Chances are they're thinking about you. So it's just, spiritually speaking, it's messy, man. It's messy. Okay, you want to take care of that. You don't want to just leave that lingering. It's like a loose end. You don't want to just leave that lingering. Okay, so those are some of the things that you really want to consider before you find your own reasons to get a Love Bond 3.0 and see for yourself the magic that happens when you take action on your desires, okay? But make sure you are specific and clear. And when you get a Love Bond 3.0, that is not the time to delude yourself. It's time to you want to be specific and clear, okay, about that. And you want to be sure as you can, of course, that this is what you really want, okay? Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a ritual that this is a lot of game right here, okay? What you're going to want to do, un moment, hold on real fast. Well, all right, okay. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a red string. You're going to need 3 days for this too. Every time you do it, you might need to do it, over and over. Do it, give it about a week or two break, do it again, or do it every month, or however you might. You don't want to obsess about it. Number one, you don't want to obsess about it, okay? So you want to get just like one of these type of things, okay? You want to tie this around your waist, all right? Ideally, if you live by an ocean, a lake, or even a river, and you are able to basically baptize yourself, that would be ideal. If you aren't close to any body of water, or you are, but you just can't get to it, you can use a cup of kosher sea salt in a bath and do the same thing. You want to get butt naked, wrap this around your waist like a belt, right? Tie it. And let's just use the bath example. You're going to sit your ass in there for 15 minutes. One thing that I do for this is I hear scissors and shears snipping all over, anywhere that the connection may be that needs to be snipped, okay? And there are some who go into, there's ways to snip the cord, like perhaps maybe you want to be more gentle, and depending on the relationship, or yanking it out or whatever, because some people look at it like if the cord exists here and I chop it. And this is true though. It can act like a goddamn tentacle or a lizard's tail, okay? You chop them off, soon enough, another one grows back. Okay, why you might need to do this more than once is because when you cut cords, a lot of times, you're going to hear from the other person. Why? Because they're reacting to that. And in some ways, it can almost be kind of semi-traumatic on an energetic level for some people. Like once you just feel that sense of loss or something like that. And I swear, if I had a pistol, anyways, so you're going to probably, it's like I said, it's a process, okay? Now, if you do this process and you continue to think about this person, or if you have contact with this person and you keep contact going, that's like just reestablishing the cord. That's not going to do you any good. So only do this when you know that you're ready for this, okay? So you wrap this cord around you, and you go and dip yourself. Ideally, you can just go out in the ocean, walk out there. You already know. You could say, I give this connection to the divine. I now sever this connection, blah, 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 blah. You can find your own words for it. It's better that you use your own words because it's coming straight from your heart. And dip yourself. And that would be same thing with a river or a lake that is safe for you to do so in, okay? So that's one way. That's one half of it. This is the other half, and this is the part that a lot of people they miss, including myself. It's happened to me too. Okay? When you sever ties with somebody, you want to get rid of every single thing that they gave you because there is energy in that. Okay? There's energy in that. Now, it may not seem like a major big deal to you, but it's like a roach. Do you want to kill every single roach, or do you want to leave one or two stragglers around? Obviously, you're going to want to kill every single roach, because if you leave one or two stragglers alone, that is enough to get reinfested again, lickety split. Okay, so that's not what you want. So, and by the way, let me reiterate, go back a little bit. After you tie this on, before you dip yourself in whatever form of water that you're going to do, you can do a prayer, you can do a psalm, or you can just write out your own intention. I would suggest you write out your own intention. Those are usually always the most powerful things that you can do, okay? So anyways, hope this video, is my intention that this video serves you to your highest good, gives you a little bit more clarity when deciding if you really, really want a 3-day love bind for yourself and your target, okay? There's a time and a place for everything. Some people say, oh, well, I don't believe in that, and some people are with it. Hey, they're both right, okay? But for me, I do recognize there's a time and a place for everything, and that's just as simple. And it's not my place to judge whether somebody wants to, whether you want to experience your target being pulled or magnetized to you, or having a magical intervention so you can have another fair shot at this relationship. Maybe you realize some of the mistakes that you've made, and you want to, enact these changes and see what this new relationship can bring you, because you still love this person, and you know that maybe they still love you, even though they may be acting like a bitch or a dick because they're hurt. And you might be doing the same, okay? But we'll see you. Link in the description also for the 3-day love bind 3.0. It's my intention this video serve you for your highest good. Who loves you like Papa ShanGO? Not a goddamn person, okay? So peace and blessings to you, and we shall see you.